Hey everybody, welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. Today's video is part 2 of our 2-part series where we're talking everything you need to know before relocating to the Ozarks. And if you missed part 1, go back one video. And in that video, we just talked about things of maybe more of the whys that people are relocating. And, you know, obviously we talked about the location of the Ozarks and weather related kind of things with longer summers and falls and springs and shorter winters. So there's a big draw for weather. And with weather comes the reasons for all the outdoor lifestyle and activity. And of course, there's the lake life. So all the things that you can do with a boat, behind a boat, sporting behind a boat, fishing, lakeside restaurants and bars and marinas. Of course, there's a big draw for that lake life, but there's also a lot of stuff off lake, right? There's state parks with hiking and biking and camping and a ton of nature and wildlife. And there's that draw and attraction to live in this area for all of the outdoor lifestyle and obviously having the weather that's conducive for it. We talked in that video about building community and relationships and knowing your neighbors because you're doing it in an area that other people are living here for the same reason. So whether you're relocating your entire family, maybe you're doing some investment or second home, vacation home stuff, or if you're that group that is retiring, right, you're gonna be doing that life with a lot of people that are enjoying the same things that you are. So it's easy to build relationships and community. So we talked about a lot of the positive reasons as to why people are moving here. We also got specific with who we are and how we can help relocate you. And so it's a great understanding that we have, you know, licensed loan officers and mortgage companies here to help, licensed real estate agents all over the lake that would love to help you and show you homes and negotiate on your behalf. And this video, we're just gonna dive into maybe a couple more whys, but then again, get very specific with how we can help you with relocating to the Ozarks. So part 2, let's check it out. All right, guys, so again, my name is Scott, and in part 2 here, outside of all the positive reasons why people are relocating, I think one more thing to kind of talk about and segue into the rest of this video is the cost of living. And I've probably have said it a number of times on this channel that the average cost of living in Lake of the Ozarks is about 6% less than the national average. And so we talk to a lot of people, again, moving your family or retiring or investing, and you're doing it in an area that is like no other across the country. To be able to have a lakefront home with the private dock and all of the commercial buildup around here and all of the outdoor lifestyles, and to do all of these things in a lower than national average cost is a big draw for a lot of people. And we know that if you want to live on a body of water, whether it's a coastline or maybe some other lakes throughout the country, it can be expensive. And I think because the Lake of the Ozarks has over 1,150 shoreline miles and over 75,000 homes as options, there's the ability to move, relocate, retire, invest, do it at an affordable cost, and obviously enjoy the reasons why you're moving here, right? It's the outdoor lifestyle and everything that we can do, but again, you're doing it at a better budget. So we know that the overall cost of living is about 6% less than the national average. And in that total 6%, you'll have things like your utility bills, which is 13% less than the national average. Your food and groceries, your retail stuff, your fuel, all of those things are below the national average. And when you think about properties and homes, those are obviously going to be a lot less than that national average. And again, think back to not just the home and the cost, but what you get with it, right? I think if you took every home and did a national average, again, we're less, but if you took every lakefront or coastline home and did a national average, we would be significantly less. And so again, to live that lake lifestyle at a reduced price is a big draw and attraction. So we know in the last video, we talked about all the pros, and right there, we just talked about the cost of living being a big pro and a draw and a desire to be here. But we want to get a little bit more specific with how we can help with your relocation needs and maybe answer some of those questions, because as you are reaching out, one of the conversations that comes up typically with those that are relocating your families permanently and or maybe the retirement community is going to be jobs and or income in order to afford the mortgage on the property. And if you're relocating your family, some of you have the ability to work remotely. And so if you have that ability, then it's easy to use your current job, your current income, get a letter from your employer that states you can work anywhere and still earn that income. And you can use that in order to qualify for whatever mortgage that you can qualify for. However, if you need to relocate and find employment, then we want to have a very detailed conversation with you on what type of employment are you going to get into. We know this is a tourist destination, so there is a lot of seasonal type work. Well, you can't get into a seasonal job and expect to use that income year round if for whatever reason that job shuts down in the wintertime. So we have to have a good understanding of the industry that you're in. Is it seasonal? Is it hourly? Is it salaried, right? And those are all things that are going to help qualify for the mortgage. And, you know, there's the community that are looking to retire here in the Ozarks, and you're probably selling your current home, right? So when you sell your current home, you got a bunch of equity and you might be able to roll all of that equity and purchase in cash. If you're able to do that, great. If you're not and you need to leverage some type of mortgage, a small or medium-sized mortgage, then we want to make sure that we can qualify for that mortgage based off of your income, right? It's your Social Security or pensions or any other type of retirement income in order to qualify for that mortgage. And we have to have both of those scenarios financially work to be comfortable, and we're not going to overextend ourselves. And so those are the conversations that we want to specifically have. And that one's an easy for me. My background is mortgages, so running financial numbers and qualifications and talking mortgages is easy for me, right? And so if any of that stuff is, you know, questionable or you want to have some more conversations around it, again, just call me, text, email, set up a Zoom call on my Calendly. I would love to dive into that and have that conversation with you. Those of you that are looking to make investment home purchases or second home purchases, again, that one's easy because you're using your current income from wherever you are in the country to make that purchase. All we want to do is make sure that you qualify for that appropriately. And so, you know, I think as you're working on those relocation needs, it's understanding the financial component to be here, right? So we're drawn to this area because of the weather, the outdoor lifestyle. We're drawn to the community, the Midwestern people that you can build relationships with. We're doing it because we are below the national average and cost of living. So it's easier to live here than it is other places of the country. And of course, what you get as far as a home or a condo or your property, lake life, lakefront, off lake with acreage, you get more for your dollar here than you do in other places. And then that's the next component that we're able to help you with. We have a group of licensed local real estate agents that would love to set you up on your home search. And as you now know your qualifications of a mortgage and the purchase price of your home, well, then the fun can begin, right? Because now you can jump into locations of that property and bedrooms and bathrooms and garages and docks and everything else that are your needs and your wants, right? We will be able to dive into a home search for you and start to piece that together. And as you're doing your home search, this is where we highly encourage you to take a trip, right? Come into town, let us show you around, get a feel for the lake and locations, because when you look at it from a distance and you just pull up a map, it's easy to go, oh, cool, I like that part, or I like this part, or, you know, this looks like a good area. But once you get here, you realize that driving around the lake and getting from place to place is a little bit more challenging than maybe where you're currently located. And so if you need very specific amenities or doctors or hospitals, or you got to be close to retail or grocery stores, or maybe your employment, we got to make sure that your property not only meets your needs with price points and bedrooms and bathrooms and all of those things, but we got to have the location in the right spot so your commute to wherever you're going is conducive for your lifestyle, right? We don't want to fall in love with the property and realize it takes 45 minutes to get to Osage Beach or to get to some retail grocery stores. And so those are the things that we like to talk about, and we like to set up time. So I think as you're exploring the options of relocating, of course, we're doing that from a distance. We're Googling, we're researching, we're watching YouTube, right? And we're doing it because we love the area, we love the outdoor lifestyle, the lake, the parks. We love that. We want to do it with the community of people that are enjoying the same things that we are, but we have to be very specific with what that looks like to relocate. And having relocation specialists on your side with a firm grip and understanding on what it looks like to sell a property, buy a property, doing that within inside your own city limits is hard enough. Doing it across country or across state lines adds a whole other element to stress and anxiety and emotions, right? And so what we'd want to do is walk you through very specifically how that timeline looks, take away some of those stresses and anxieties, absorb some of that burden, and then hopefully, right, in return, make the process as fun and enjoyable as we possibly can. And so I hope this part 1, part 2 series clearly sheds light on why we're doing it, but really wanted to shed light on who we are and how we can help you with your relocation needs. So if there's anything that we can do for you in the future, please don't hesitate. Like the video, subscribe to it, call me, text me, email me. There's a Calendly link in there, so click the Calendly link and set yourself up on a Zoom call. Whatever we can do to help you with your relocation needs, we would love to do that. And until then, we'll see you on the next video. Bye.